you've run what 25,000 days in a row. What's the number?
I don't know. I don't know. It's
Roughly over 2,000, right?
June 6th, 2014 was the start date.
And that's something. So you've been going after this thing, the Boston qualifier thing, for that
Yeah.
entire time, basically.
Yes.
And so with the unknown in there now for you, so like with me, I told you the Ironman, right? That's something like in a personal perspective. We all have personal things that are going on with this, right? I think
Hmm.
some way more serious than others. How do you get by from an emotional standpoint with the unknown of what's going to happen when there's this thing that you've worked so hard on is now, potentially up in the air?
Sure. But your first question is 2,127 days in a row
Two
as
one
of
what?
today. 2,127.
Have you run today?
I did. 6 miles this morning. But no, I mean, to get back to the second question is, I mean, really, I try to only focus on things that I can control. And I can't control the weather. I can't control what's going to happen in April of 2021. I just know that if I focus on the things that I can control, then that's the only outcome that I can dictate one way or the other. So my
Yeah.
life is a whole lot easier and a lot less stressful with that mindset.
What are some of the things that and so I totally agree with that. We control the effort, not the conditions. What are some of the conversations that you're having with people in the community about, opportunities and things like this? Because, some of the best brands are created in downtimes, right?
Hmm.
Or when people aren't expecting something. Like what are your words of wisdom? What are people talking about? I know you're talking to Hampton University students a little bit later, I think, or something like that.
Yes.
And like when they ask you the question, like, well, what do I do during these times, or how
Yeah,
do
I
I
mean,
build something in this time? Like, what do you say?
yeah, I mean that's just the whole thing in terms of there's so many new problems that are being uncovered right now, and these are the problems that we need to solve. I mean, granted, it's not a long-term solution, but I mean, you laugh at people fumbling around just on Zoom. I mean, that they have no idea what the organizers have no clue what's going on. I mean, you could have it would be a small-term business, but just to set up some instruction on how to properly use Zoom. I mean, you figure every teacher across the United States right now is trying to figure out how to conduct classes with their students, and talking to my kids with their Zoom classes with their teachers. Students have caught on to how to use Zoom a whole lot quicker than the teachers have.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that it's just that technology is just they've been born with it, so it just comes so natural to them. A real quick side note: one of the funny things that I guess the students are doing is they're changing their screen name on Zoom to reloading ... So the teachers will see that and they think the students are there, but the teacher will not call on the student to answer the question. But kids are clever.
That's good.
They're
Oh.
reconnecting, whatever. But no, there's so many new things. I mean, just as you said, I mean, delivery services. How do we invoice and exchange? What's a better way to exchange money? I mean, who would have thought that Zoom would be doing what it's doing today, or even the makers of headsets, so that when you're on these Zoom calls and connected with Bluetooth, you can be walking around your entire house and at least have the audio still connected. It's amazing all these different companies that are all doing really, really well and probably weren't prepared for the increase in sales based on how well they're doing now, based on timing is everything.
Yeah, it's one, and then I think really are two sides to this. There's the side that's let's just wait and see,
Hmm.
and then there's the more aggressive side that's like, well, we're moving on. And and generally, I think that you can look at those things and say there are going to be winners and losers out of this. And so the people that are more active in this than not, I find it very hard to believe that someone could sit back, do nothing for weeks,
Yeah.
however long this is going to be, and think that that branding will just magically reappear later on, right?